are we? So I am feeling really, really good today, and I would like to answer your questions. So I am ready for us to get funded. I will go over a few things, but as you come in, I will ask that you share this live out with 10 people, hit the subscribe button or the little alert button above. So I'm feeling really, really good tonight. So if you don't know why you're not getting funded, I am here to get you over that barrier tonight. Free coaching call. Let's go. Put your questions down here, right here. But if you see that little bubble, that'll be even better because I can clearly see your question and answer it right away. But I want to get into like filling out the application, understanding what not to put on there, which will land you denied, and how to get to the funding side. What should you do when you have a brand new corporation? How do you build that brand new corporation for funding? What do we need to do? What action steps do we need to take? So my question is to you, what is the one thing that's holding you back from funding? Do we even know? Have we tried? Are we out there in the trenches? Are you checking any pre-approved sites? Like who has some pre-approvals? You have Amex. If you have Navy Federal, you can go to Pre-Qualify Me. Truist have soft pulls. You know, it's a lot of companies out there that will give you the practice that you need just to fill out the application, get the pre-approval, and then receive the denial. It is power in the denial. I have all my mentees do that right up front. Just give them like a list of like 6 to 7 different pre-qualify me accounts, and they're like, well, my credit is bad, and some people get pre-approved for things. So it looked like we have a question. You have beautiful hair color and eyes. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Do we have any business credit and or funding questions? I would like to answer you tonight. Now, it's very rarely that I get on here and I'm feeling like giving up some sauce. Tonight is that night, so let's do it. I was at the okay. Should I do the Navy Federal play if I know credit score or credit history? Yes, I would. And the reason being is because they like to give you approvals for higher credit card limits. So you will get a higher credit card approval if you take the steps that I gave you in the workshop. Remember, that was paid for information. So hopefully you retained and took notes like Mitch told you to, and follow those steps exactly, and then go for the credit card. You would prefer to go for your first credit card with Navy Federal or another credit union
How to
than
get
any other bank,
this
right?
without
My opinion, right? And
financing?
then once you get your approval from Navy Federal, allow it to report and build a relationship the way I explained fully with Bank of America. But what I'll give you guys who were not at the workshop, you want to always build relationships with credit unions when you're rebuilding your credit. In this case, this young man does not have any credit. So it's best to start there. Why? Because they like to give you higher credit card approvals than the average person. This is where you always want to be, okay? Do we have any questions? Come on, let's get into it tonight. Share this live out with 10 people. I might give you a gift and type done. So yes, ma'am, definitely took my notes. Okay, well, let's go. So the next thing I should be hearing from you is a testimonial. I mean, even if they give you $10,000, the lowest I've ever seen them give anyone was $7,100. And why? I told you why. Because they didn't take all the steps. You're going to definitely take all the steps if you do not have any credit cards at all. Thank you for your question. Thank you for participating. Who else? Who next? Who next? Come on, let's get with it. I'm telling you, that's like being in the room with a billionaire and not asking them a question. If you come on these lives, you should be prepared. Like, hey, you know, I know Akila be giving source. Like, how do I get funded? Like, what is your issue? What do you need? Let me know. I'm here to help you out. But until we get the questions rolling, here's what I want you to know. Here's a few things you should not put on the credit application to avoid denial. All right. Number one, you do not want to say that you are a contractor, or what's the other term that they ask? Self-employed. You are not self-employed. Huge, huge mistake. You are an employee. You are an employee of your company. All right. Never forget that. Another thing you do not want to do is put your personal telephone number down there, or a Google Voice phone number. You get yourself a business phone number and you put your business phone number on the business credit application. You need funding for a rehab. Okay, cool. What are some of the things you have tried to obtain the funding? Have you started applying? Have you started setting yourself up? Do you know what condition you in? Where are you right now that I can help answer any questions for you in regards to obtaining funding for a rehab? All right. So go ahead and type your questions right here. It really helps you get the things that you need answered and get you moving in the correct fashion. All right. So definitely be careful and understand what you're putting on your business application that will result in an approval instead of a denial. Another thing, the income that we're putting down, we're putting too high. We're going crazy. All right. Thank you, Zara or Zarin. You do not want to go and put, I made $400,000 or $500,000, and they look at your credit profile, and it's definitely going to kick you into underwriting. Anything over, like on a business application, like over 180-ish, like you're in that area, especially if your personal credit profile doesn't match a grown folks profile of a person that's making $200,000, $300,000. A person that's making $200,000, $300,000 a year, they definitely have a car or some cars, and they can see what type of car that is. Think about it. And they definitely own a home of some sort. Think about, what would you have on your credit report if you were bringing in $200,000 a year? Think about it. A couple of properties, cars, a car note within the 60, 80K range. You understand? You wouldn't have one credit card and no car. Like, people with money spend it. That's the American way. People with money, they leverage credit most of the time. You may not use it in the correct fashion, but we're using some form of credit. So do not go crazy. And let me give you a few formulas, maybe one. I'll give you one. When you are putting your income down, whatever income you put down for a credit card application, for example, just divide that by 6. So 150, I want to say that's going to result in like a $25,000 credit card if you put down and you make $150,000. So it doesn't, that's pretty much all you're going to get if you're just starting out getting business credit to begin with. That's pretty much all you're going to get. So it's saying that you make $300,000, $400,000 isn't smart. So here's what I want you to do. I want each and every last one of you, who here does not have a credit card that's at least $25,000 limit? Who here does not? If you do not have a credit card with a limit, at least one that has a limit of $25,000, put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure you're with me.
Place to place. You know, doing research for my books. Just so happened that all my research.
Me, put a 1 in the chat.
Sure.
That's what I said. Put a 1 in the chat. See the ones?
Finally.
See the ones.
In garage doors.
See the ones. See the ones. Share this live out with 10 people. Type done. Who here wants to know how to get their first $25,000 credit card?
Nearly died. And I thought,
really levels to it.
That's so fitting.
Really had a sauce on how you can get 3 $25,000 credit cards back to back.
T1 urgent care.
But for tonight, I'll give you 1.
My
I'll give you that.
you get me.
Put a 2 in the chat if you want this sauce. Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you want this sauce.
2 pieces of shit.
Okay?
Since you're the universe.
Okay? All right, cool.
Fuse box.
If you do not have a $25,000 credit card, I see a lot of 1s and 2s, but you would like one, I need you to comment the word 25K right now. 25K.
Monday and Thursday.
Let's get you to the funding side. 25K. What you need to do is find a credit union. My top 3 that I like, DCU. So I'm giving you something national, but you have a lot of local credit unions. All you need to do is go to ibanknet.com and search local credit unions in your area, or just do a simple Google search, right? And just check out their products and services. Genuinely, credit unions, there's hundreds, thousands of them, I would say, across the country. They are more favorable with passing out more money and approving you for lower interest rates. That this is the best bank you should be with as your personal bank. So if you're looking for a house, a car, things like that, they provide favorable interest rates. Just take a note of that, okay? They also like to give you monies. They like to build relationship with you and make you happy. This is why you want to go with credit unions. They have different products and services than your national banks, okay? What you need to do if you're in the rebuilding process and you have a low credit card limit and you don't have at least a $25,000 credit card limit, start building your relationship with the credit union. I like DCU Federal, Andrews Federal, I like Navy Federal, of course. A local address. Some are national. So the 3 I just gave you are pretty much national. All right, so it should be in your region unless you live in some odd area. That's why we sort of provide, well, I would say me, I'll speak to me. That's why you hear a lot of people talking about Navy Federal, because the more people that's listening to my platform, it's a high chance that the people listening can take advantage of it because they live in a place where Navy Federal Bank is located. All right? So it say, have Navy Federal get, you get crickets. Man, you should have been at the workshop this weekend. So when it comes to Navy Federal or any credit union, for the most part, they honor the relationship over your credit profile. So they're lenient, right? So you can have not perfect credit. Like I've gotten clients with charge-offs, bankruptcies, car repos, who build a positive relationship with Navy Federal and they still end up with a $25,000 credit card. Here's what you need to do. You need to get a checking account. This is all on the personal side. A personal checking, a personal savings, a direct deposit. A direct deposit that is coming from a wire from a company, not a deposit. You know what a direct deposit is. So it has to be monies being deposited into a checking account from a company, from a corporation. I don't care if it's your own corporation like Stripe or Gusto or whatever, or if you drive Uber, it needs to be an actual direct deposit ACH wire, not monies being deposited. That those two are not created equal. For some strange reason, entrepreneurs think that that's what that means, and I have to explain that. So just reset the room. If you're coming up under the sound of my voice and you want to obtain your first $25,000 credit card, type 25K in the chat and check your DMs. So once you start obtaining products with them, your internal banking rating will increase. All right, point taken, awesome. Type 25K, check your DMs if you're looking for your first $25,000 credit card. So if you get a personal checking, a personal savings, we're talking about Navy Federal, direct deposit, and then you perform a pledge loan. If you're not familiar with the pledge loan, call Navy Federal and they'll give you all the details. It's just a securitized loan that is backed by your money in your savings account. What makes it so beautiful and why everyone is raving about Navy Federal is you can get a secured credit line, use the same monies that's in your savings account, but use that same money to pay that loan down, and they then release your money right back to you as you pay it down immediately versus holding on to the payment until the loan is paid off. And I don't know about you, but for me, I wasn't used to secured loan products. So I was quite confused until I spoke with them, and they are very, Navy Federal's customer service is amazing. Okay, it's like Chick-fil-A's. Like, it is amazing. And they are literally 24/7. So you can literally get off the live with me and give them a call and ask them about these products. Okay? So the more products, type 25K, as I'm talking here, guys, 25K. The more products that you obtain with them, the higher your internal banking rating goes. So it's like a reciprocal type of relationship. If they feel like you're going to hang around for a while, that's how they justify giving you the high credit card limits. We're just haven't done doing tomorrow. Yeah, definitely take advantage. Do not. And then what's crazy, like I meet a lot of people that's with all these amazing banks, Bank of America, Navy Federal, Chase. Chase has a no documentation, 0% interest funding program for $150,000 and you are unaware. Why? Because you are not close to the campfire. Pay a small little fee and get the blueprint. Because my question is, if you do not, a ton of you, almost all of you typed, if you do not have a $25,000 credit card. So my third question is, how much would you pay for a blueprint? How much would it be worth it to you to pay for a blueprint for someone to give you that exact step by step and land you, especially if you're already banking with Navy Federal? Like that, we don't know. How much will it be worth it to you? How much would you be willing to pay? I'm just curious. If I have the right crowd here, I'm just really curious. Because some people, I'm not saying it's you, but some people, they will try to get the blueprint and are always run into people who execute the Navy Federal play incorrectly. And they'll be like, yeah, I tried it. It didn't work. I paid off the loan too quick. And I got approved for $300. When someone probably was selling like a $7 product, giving you this whole play, we have to be of the mindset of what is the result. Typically, just to help you out, typically like when you come from mentorships and stuff like that, if I tell you, hey, hop into my mentorship, and I know I have a blueprint that on average I can take you to 6 figures, or I can get you 6 figures of funding, in my case, I'm selling money. Like I'm literally giving you strategies to go get money from a bank, right? Blueprint. Okay. For the Chase. How much are you willing to pay for that? I'm just curious. When you start talking about money, like people get weird. That's what I do. That's why my name is Mrs. Cash Flows. Like I talk about money all the time. When I used to go dating, when I was on the dating scene, like we're going to the money question easy. Why people get uncomfortable about money? If you're not comfortable talking about it, you're not gonna have it. You gotta know how to get it. You know how to keep it. You need to know how to grow it. You need to understand how much you're willing to invest in yourself to obtain it. That's my question. I need one person to answer that question for me. How much are you willing to pay for the $150,000 play for Chase? Someone to literally do that with you and bring you funding ready. I'm curious. I want someone to answer that. I would really like to know. Why are you not bold enough to answer that question? What will we pay? Whatever I ask, I will find it. Okay? So we said, what is that? $5,000? Okay. So you willing? So if someone gives you $150,000, I see $500. You, in exchange for that, $500. So what if I gave you a $1,500 or a $2,500 play? How much do you think that's worth? You understand? So $500. It's interesting. It's really interesting. So the people who put down $500, why? Let's make this a group session. I need to understand like who I'm talking to and where your mindset is when it comes to investing in yourself and moving forward in your life. Why $500? How did we come up with that number? I'm just curious. Really curious. $500 what? Or a one-time $500 fee? Let me tell you something. I paid $3,500 for my mentorship years ago that helped me walk me through getting rid of my bankruptcy. And I ended up funding myself $300,000. And with this perfect credit profile, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I've gotten millions in funding. I didn't pay him enough. And I will feel bad telling him that the person who was my mentor at the time, like, hey, you can help me get rid of my bankruptcy? And he's like, yeah, I have the exact step-by-step blueprint. How much do you think is worth it? And if I would have said in his face $500, I don't think, and I'm gonna tell you, I didn't have it. I did not have the $3,500, guys. I went and got it. So I like the answer of the person who said, whatever you say, I'm gonna go get it. You understand? Because money should not be the reason why you don't move forward on a thing. And if you can't afford what a person is asking, you definitely need to get yourself to a new level. I don't like that. I don't like the feeling of wanting something, and I live in the United States and I can't do it. I'm restricted. So it's not that the thing that the person is charging is too much. You can't afford it. And you don't have the mentality to get yourself to afford it. All of the people who think ill of someone asking for money to give you game or coach you on something and get you a result, I need you to kind of like check yourself, because I'll tell you a story. I was the same way. It was right after I left corporate America. I had my first Airbnb. I made $84,000. I had a friend coach me and help me do my listing and all of that. Less than a year, like within 7 months, I got like $84,000, right? I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, and this was back in 2014, right? So that was a lot of money back then. Now, so it could be a missed opportunity. Things are a lot more expensive now. $84,000 isn't worth what it was in 2014. So that $84,000 was amazing. For me to make $84,000 in 7 months as an entrepreneur, a first-time entrepreneur, it was huge. So now I'm like, how do I duplicate this thing? I'm part of a real estate community at the time. So someone was like, hey, this guy, he is the bomb. He has like 100 apartments on Airbnb. Now, mind you, 2014, 2015, Airbnb was a new idea. It wasn't prevalent like it is now. We didn't have Airbnb gurus. It was just in the beginning hot phases, right? Where people started to get involved with it. So I was in a blue ocean. I had the greatest opportunity. All he wanted was $2,000 for the mentorship. I was like, I'll just do what I did with the 84,000 that got me the 84,000. At the time, I had a boyfriend. He was like, Akila, get the mentorship. He was someone that was an entrepreneur all his life. So he was like the number one person in our area when it came to wholesaling at the time, right? He was killing it. right? He's never worked for anyone. So his mentality was very different than mine. He was used to investing in himself and going to workshops and buying and paying for blueprints. That's why he was number one. So here it is, I'm not there yet. He literally swiped his credit card and gave me the login and was like, thank me later. Think about it. I had one Airbnb. No one really had the blueprint on this new thing. And someone who has acquired over 100 of them wanted to charge me $2,000 to teach me how to scale my business. And I didn't want to give him $2,000. Think about that for a minute. Type 25K in the chat if you're looking for your first $25,000 credit card and check your DM. I got to the first module and it taught us how to source out and what type of Airbnbs we should be looking for. Do we want to be Target? Do we want to be Macy's? Or do we want to be Walmart? What type of clients are you going to serve? And then he got into that. Then the second paragraph section was business credit. I didn't do that. It was business credit, right? Then he gave us a script in the first module. Like the second or third video, it was a script. So I clicked on the script. He's like, this is the script you use to call the homeowners to ask them to allow you to re-rent their place. Do you know? I said, you know what, I'm ready to test this out. He was like, cool. I called my first luxury building downtown Chicago. Type 25K in the chat as you come in. A lot of you are coming in. And they offered me 12 units. Changed me. I think some of you need that type of experience to understand that $2,000 took me to 200K instantly. I started learning the strategy, started understanding like your sheets shouldn't be blue, green, and red and purple. You need to look like a hotel. Everything should be white. You need white towels, white linens. Everything needs to be clean in the picture. Get a professional photo. Took my business to the next level. Now, you tell me, did I pay him enough? Literally, he should have charged $20,000 for that information because I scaled to 14 units and stayed successful being tapped into that community for 5 consecutive years. I paid a one-time fee of $2,000 and was a part of the community of a coaching for a lifetime. So I need you to check yourself and don't look at it like, oh, I don't have it, right? The question is, how do I get it? That's a better question to ask yourself. And if you're looking for your first $25,000 credit card, very, very minimum costs, you need to be typing 25K in the chat because I now do nothing without a blueprint. Mentorship, blueprints, and strategies, that's the cheat code. Think about it. How long do you think it would have taken me to get 14 units on my own? I don't know what I'm doing. I have no business acumen. I've been working for someone for years. I came out into a lucky situation where one condo that I own and had views got $84,000. Think about that. No such thing. Can't even if I don't have it. Going to go get it. Thank you. That's the American way. You have credit. We have a credit system. Do you know how amazing that is? I remember speaking to someone whose family was from Nigeria. Like he was saying, like, we don't have a credit system there. They have like loan sharks where it's a genuine fear not to borrow money because if you can't pay it back, those loan sharks will literally come kill your entire family. Now, I could see you being afraid of credit at that point. But you're in the United States. if you're not sitting on a 760 plus credit score with at least 2 to 3 20,000 plus credit cards, you got the world messed up. And you live here in the United States and you got bad credit. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to live with bad credit. All right, any and everything that's on your personal credit profile can and will be removed. Because if you knew what I knew, you were tapped in and you were close to the campfire, you would then know why it's illegal for what it is that they're doing. But you don't know because you think that it's not worth it to you. It's not valuable to you. What I knew was I was already an entrepreneur. Like I said, I had already started paying for mentorships and all of that. My business failed. So when I failed, I knew I had to do two things: remove that bankruptcy and find a new opportunity. That was my new focus. Remove, because I knew credit, I can get some money. I knew that because I had an 815 credit score before I filed bankruptcy, right? So I knew what it felt like to have good credit and to get $40,000, $50,000 lines of credit from businesses. That a $25,000 credit card with the right blueprint from a mentor and a new opportunity can take you to a whole nother level. I promise you. If you're someone that think that the information I'm giving you is useful, I need you to type 25K in the chat. I need you to share this live out with 10 people and type done. We do not want to be standing in place our entire life. Fear? Thinking we're going to get things for free? We will be standing in place our entire. Think about how long it would have taken me to get my second Airbnb by myself with no idea how I was going to do it. He gave me a script that was so cold-blooded and taught me how to present and structure and create an LLC and get articles of incorporations and how to go into those apartment buildings correctly. I wouldn't have never known that. And say, hey, I'm a corporate rental company. Not going in there, hey, I want to rent out Airbnb unit in your building. No, he had to structure our LLC properly, named it properly, had our operating agreements, had everything that he knew what they were going to ask, offer me 12 units. The next day, $2,000 investment, shot me straight to the top. So you guys think Mrs. Cash Flows come from business funding? Like this is a gimmick? No. My community, my real estate community deemed me and gave me this name from cash flowing units. So I was given this title. I was killing it. Okay, but I never would have gotten to that level without a blueprint. If you have a problem with paying for a blueprint to get to the next level, I get it. Sometimes you feel like, hey, I'm not there. Yeah, I can't invest that much. Start where you are. But I honestly feel like you being serious and you're confident in your ability to deliver on something. So at this point, I'm already an entrepreneur for 5 years. So when I went bankrupt, I got back up to a higher level so fast that my family is now just finding out on podcasts that I do that I went broke. They didn't even know. That's how fast I instantly went and got myself a blueprint. I was like, it's a gap in my learning. So entrepreneurship is no joke. You need constant development. You need a community. You need mentorship. I'm in a mentorship right now. I will never be without mentorship. And if you're someone looking to get your first $50,000 to $150,000 of 0% interest funding on a brand new business, and you need a step-by-step guide, So you don't have to go through what I went through. I created a blueprint. Type 25K and check your DMs. Type in 25K. It will be 100 times less than the $500 that the guy posted. All right. Very, very minimum cost to get you to the level, to get you to your next level. Because the question now becomes, what is my next best move? When I lost it all, I lost my mind. I didn't know what I was going to do. But what I knew I needed to do was to get rid of that bankruptcy, and I needed a new opportunity. I didn't know it would be this. I used to think credit repair people were scammers until I got a bankruptcy. I was like, shit, well, let's try this out. Somebody need to help me out, but I need this thing off. Honestly, I didn't even know that you can get rid of a bankruptcy. So when I found that out, and he was like, just like you, I was scrolling on the internet. And I'm like, what? You can help me get rid of my bankruptcy and help me get business funding. Yo, this is what I need. Dang, $5,000? Got it. Then I saw him have that sale. Went down to $3,500. I'm like, yo, I gotta get in there. It was just as simple as that. I got rid of it and funded myself in 5 months. Now ask yourself, how could I have done that on my own? I would still have a bankruptcy. A lot of you do that, and I highly recommend you don't do that. You run around here and you try to get free information on how to do credit repair. Guys, the years, don't do it. Type 25K in the chat. I have an easier way, a more economical way for you to get where you need to go. I promise you, don't do that to yourself. Not in the United States, because see, it's a missed opportunity. See, a lot of us don't understand the fact that it's a small window. Things change in the United States a lot. You need to jump on this money wagon while it's happening. Today or tomorrow, we don't know. They may just stop giving out money in the bank. Then you hearing things saying that the US dollar is not worth anything. You know, I try not to pay attention to that. I'm focused on, let me get as much funding as I can right now and get as much money as I can right now. We don't know where AI is really going to do. Really, I personally do. I believe them when they said most of the jobs are going to be gone within the next 5 years. I'm from technology. I'm from tech. I've been involved in it, and I've seen technology change every 3 months. That's why I stayed in school when I was in corporate America. I was constantly in training for the new software. We knew robots were coming 20 years ago when I was in college. Okay? So I'm here to tell you, stop playing games. Type 25K in the chat. Let's get rid of that bad credit. Let's get funded. Let's take advantage of this banking system while they're feeling generous and we have a way out. While people like me are allowed to teach you this stuff. Because exactly like you're jumping on my live, that's exactly what happened to me. And I thought it was a joke. I literally was like, yo, he can help me get rid of my bankruptcy. Do you know how that would change? I couldn't even get an apartment. Think about it. Someone who was a landlord who was evicting people. I was hiding to avoid eviction. I became the evictee. To go from that, $300,000 a year, 815 credit score, real estate, apartments, cash flow, to flat broke and bankrupt. That was a condition I wasn't about to accept. So when you tell me you don't have it, go get it. I drove Uber. It's a million different ways you can do grocery deliveries. You're in the United States. It's not like you're in a third world country where you don't have options. I'm here to tell you, stop playing games. Type 25K. Let's get funded, period. If you have a question, share this live out. Be nice. Don't be stingy. Make this a reciprocal conversation. Now, I don't go outside that much. So I've been in the streets these past 2 weekends. I've been outside. And I've been running into people who I don't understand my platform here a lot of the time. So I'm shocked. People are like, oh, I know you. Hey, I got a $30,000 credit card from PNC. Thank you. Like, I ran into 2 people at 2 separate events, straight strangers, who were like, hey, I just listened to you. I'm like, yo, so you okay with the $30,000 from the free information where you can 10x that if you pay for a blueprint? We could turn that 30,000 to getting you a whole sequence and teaching you how to build relationships with multiple banks to get 300K. You're like, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I say, so you didn't think to take that 30,000 to reinvest in something that could exponentially change you, your life, and your business. Financial literacy, business credit, high credit card limits has changed the people that I hang around, has helped change my environment, has helped change what it is that I do. I'm living my life on purpose, change where I live. I don't live in the same city. I'm here to tell you any and everything that you want, or any and everything that's possible for someone else in the universe is possible for you. They say how long it takes to get rid of a charge-off. It can be anywhere from 30 to 90 days. It just really depends, right? It just really depends. I'm a VA builder here in Texas. Awesome. What's your question? Yeah. So think about it. Someone who was a novice and knew nothing about credit repair, I was so determined I got rid of my own bankruptcy in 5 months. But to be honest, it probably could have came out faster. I quit 3 times. Like, I literally quit. So the people in the mentorship I was in, they were on me. They're like, no, you cannot quit. You have to keep disputing. And if they said this is how you know, this is the rebuttal. And I had the best in the game helping me. So I highly do not recommend, guys, that you waste your time trying to do your own credit repair, especially without mentorship. I had resources. I had people to run to when they told me no. Who do you have to run to? Don't think that you download a letter on how to get rid of a collections and you send it, but you don't know the proper follow-up. You're dead. So let's get funded, guys. They say how long it takes to get rid of a charge. I would just answer that. Correction, have a few net 30 accounts, but sure, if they can be reported, yet they are under 90 days old. So here's some net 30 accounts to build out Business Equifax, Business Experian, and Duns and Bradstreet. Here's some accounts. You want Uline Granger, Divvy Business, which is now Bill. You want BP Gas Card, Shell Gas Card, Shirtsy, and CEO Creative. Take those lines, net 30s, pay the bills on the business side before the bill is due. That will get you a 100 payback score. If you pay the if you pay the bills when they're due, that'll give you an 80 payback score. If you pay them before they're due, you'll get a higher rating up to 100. All right. Another thing you need to know is as soon as you charge something or order something, pay it immediately, and that will cause the net 30 account to report a lot faster, within 30 to 60 days. All right? Just a quick tip when it comes to building out your business credit profile. And another thing you need to know is there's something known as payment experiences. Every time you pay or make a payment towards a bill on your business credit report, you will get a payment experience. So the more payment experiences that you have, the higher your rating. So people like to, when you're building business credit profiles, a little trick is to pay your bill every week. Like if it's a gas card, especially, like paying it every week. So rather than having one payment experience or 3 payment experience in 90 days, you could create 12. I hope that makes sense. Type 25K to get the blueprint and check your DM. Proud of you. Keep going, advocating this generation. Thank you for your proudness. Do we have any other questions when it comes to business credit and funding? So we went over quite a few things. We went over how to get your first $25,000 credit card. We went over how to correctly fill out a business credit application. And what not to put on there to avoid denial. All right. We also answered a few questions. I hope you really took my question to you to heart. Are you willing to invest in yourself? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. Are you willing to pay for something that's going to help you move forward in life? Like, there's strategies to eradicate student loan debt, which would take your personal credit profile to a whole nother level, and it'll show as totally paid off. That's huge. Strategies out there to get rid of mortgages. Strategies out there to get rid of your car note, and they pay you in return your down payment and all the car note payments that you pay. But you don't know that because you're too cheap to pay for a blueprint. A lot of stuff is not about to be aired out here on Instagram. So the people who are willing to invest are like, man, I was not expecting this. What were you expecting? Take you to a whole nother level. You can be debt free with an 800 credit score with $300,000 of credit and funding. Take you to a whole nother level. But you have to be willing to invest in yourself first. Wealth is a mindset. Abundance is a mindset. If you don't feel abundant first, you cannot manifest abundance, right? And I love, 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 love Reverend Ike. I love it when he says, you are ensnared by the words of your mouth. By your words, you are justified. By your words, you are condemned. You have to be careful what you say to your heart. So if you think everything is expensive, or you feel like you're just not of the person to get to the level because you think that you see this person in this Cullinan and that's not for you, or you see this person in these diamonds or whatever you see them in, and you don't feel or see yourself accomplishing that thing, you are what you think you are. You are what you think is possible for you. You need to get around people that are confident and that are go-getters. Because chances are, if you don't know what your purpose is or what you want to do, get around some people who do. A lot of the times you figure yours out. If you're sick and tired of having negative items on your credit and not getting funded, type 25K in the chat. Let's get funded today. Let's change that. Let's start taking a little thing to make a small investment in ourselves. Take a baby step. Yield a result, and I promise you it will change you. To listen to a free will reel, and I run into this guy and he said he got $30,000. Huge. Take that and invest. You can change that. Okay, if she know how to give me $30,000, how do we duplicate this at 4 or 5 other banks? Well, what sequence? What strategy should I take? How should I move? I'm telling you. Questions. Okay, I get a car in my business name. Yeah, so the rule of thumb is, right, you want to build business credit, car credit on your personal credit profile. So it really depends. Everything isn't for everybody. What your personal credit profile is looking like. Should we get a car in our personal name first rather than our business side? That is the question. Do we have any more questions here? I know someone who does dinero, so DM me. I have a partner that I can refer you to. Okay? Type 25K in the chat. Check your DMs. This has been such a joy. Have a good night. Type 25K. Let's get funded.